Your Zoom recording. All right. Okay, come on in here. Now you can get to sit on my lap again.
Yeah.
Lean in a little bit. We're gonna do this kind of like a little bit of a round table type of thing. So you guys, we're back here. This is the Q&A for the first session of Build Scale Done. And we're basically now going to share our screens here, or actually we don't need to share screens. We're just gonna sit here and see who else is on and has questions. Okay, so how did it go? How did it go with the videos? How did it go with finding your passion? Maybe we should do one thing, and that is go through a couple of sharing what your passions are. What are your passions, guys? Let us know. Put it up on the screen, or
the chat.
Pipe up and pipe it in the chat.
Okay.
Fishing, parent niche. Put a little bit more meat and potatoes there. Why are you?
Yeah, how did you guys come up with that? That's why choosing those?
Why do you choose that?
So we got fishing,
music. Aren't awesome.
Reptile. Okay, cool.
I'm a dad. My wife buys a ton of stuff. Educational products for kids.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Jewelry, high perceived value, inspirational. It's inspirational, yes.
Cool.
Outdoor niche, JP, couples and relationships, David.
That's good.
This is all awesome stuff.
Very good. You guys start up a lot better than I did.
Love
I
it.
know. You guys didn't have to spend 20, 30 minutes. Great job.
I love fishing. There you go. I love fishing. That's awesome. And fishing niche is very big, and they're very passionate.
Okay, so just a second. We have a little bit of typing to do here. Usually we do like a Q&A in like multiple sessions. Oh, look at this. There's a wireless keyboard. I can hold it in my lap. Forwards there.
All right, what do we got? Kitchen, cooking. We got for the niche itself. Is it based on demography or the items we sell? I would start with so a good way to. That's actually an excellent question. You know. It could be the niche itself. I like to start with the audience. You know, I like to think about like who it is, because pretty much any niche you could end up creating a POD, right? A print on demand something. Right.
And this is, by the way, I mean, going back to like, you know, going by the heart, from the heart, following the heart or following the crowd, and you're kind of doing both and doing a hybrid out of that. When you're doing a print on demand, one of the great advantages of doing that is that you have complete control, you have complete freedom of the actual design, you know, and print on demand can be so many things. It can be coffee mugs with funny sayings. It can be t-shirts with funny sayings. It can be pillows. It can be canvases, you know, canvases and pillows. I really like some of the things that came out in this product type. But if you think about it, you're completely free. I mean, the only thing that you have to stay away from and be careful about is really copyright, right? But other than that, you can partner with an artist. You can look for artists that are like really inspirational or inspiring you, and you can even look for artists who already have a following. You know, one of the things is like a really big example. One of the things that we did when we were running a store that was for the patriotic, you know, military-based, like veterans, patriotic, this kind of niche. When we did that, we actually partnered with an artist who had already created a bunch of designs, but the designs were used mainly as wall art. And we partnered with them to put them as all-over print onto tanks and T-shirts. And that was awesome because it really hit the flavor of that niche, and it was really powerful that way.
Okay, so we couple. Thank you for that, Thomas. Sound is echoing. Sounds okay. Sam has no sound. Anybody else? Can everybody hear us? Is there anybody else having trouble with the sound? Audio is good. Okay, so
Okay,
Sam,
yeah.
maybe try to
We'll
yeah,
move a little bit closer to the microphone.
see if you want, try to exit and come back in. And somebody asked Thomas, what's the best POD provider?
Well,
Would
POD
you
providers, you
suggest?
want to go with, depending on what you're printing on, you know. My staple go-to is always T-Launch. T-Launch is not very expensive. It's, you know, it's kind of run-of-the-mill expensive. If you have very high volume, you can, I mean, the really great thing about T-Launch is there's Christopher there who owns the company, and you can have a personal relationship with him, and he'll take care of things, of anything you need. Christopher can actually help you scale with your needs like crazy. Okay, Christopher can help you find providers and suppliers that would help you out even with other types of products and other printing styles that that T-Launch doesn't even fulfill themselves directly, right? So we've actually had really good results with just, you know, letting Christopher take the lead on some of our needs and just, you know, make up and find relationships that we couldn't have found ourselves otherwise. So that's a good thing.
And T-Launch is just teelaunch.com, right?
Yeah.
T-E-E-L-A-U-N. Oh, thank you, Shatil. Thank you.
Yes. And so then the other part to that is you need to always go on with this, right? So when you, for example, print on demand, like with canvas art, it can be sort of print on demand, but usually it's not, right? Usually canvas art is shipped from China. And the cool thing there is that you can use very different pricing depending on if you're going to roll it up and it's going to be just shipped as a sheet of paper. You can make it like small size and it can be shipped very easily, and you can sell the larger sizes when people want to really put it out and they want to invest into a nice piece of art for their home. You can make it much larger and much more expensive that way, right? That all can really get really good results there and a good variety in price ranges. All right. So there are some more.
Christopher is the owner of T-Launch, and Thomas was saying that you can.
What's his last name? I don't remember. I was drawing a blank on last name. I'm going to get you we're going to have a resource session. A resource section. So then, let's talk about GearBubble. GearBubble is a really awesome example. We're going to talk about them a little bit more later about in terms of having print-on-demand fulfillment, but also being able to quickly test some ideas, even just by putting some stuff out on their platform and launching it there. Yep. And once you've validated that it's working with like a really bare bones, very simplified, very clean, lean landing page, then you can put it over into your store where you can have the customer relationship and where you can, you know, upsell them something or do something more and see if you can first match that. And then the other thing about GearBubble is that you have many different product types, right? You can do the necklaces that are print on demand, that are kind of like customized and semi-personalized, almost personalized.
So Alexan asks, Thomas, in your experience, is POD relatively better than other niches in this holiday season from a success/scaling point of view?
Well, okay, that's an interesting question. This is a question that goes a little bit into you know, fulfillment and trying to figure out how late or how late you can take orders if you want to actually get them there. So it's a little bit you know, specific to this season. But in general, print on demand is going to beat drop shipping in terms of delivery speed. We kind of need to go a little bit further out on this because there are different phases of drop shipping, right? So phase one drop shipping is you're going to order one item at a time through AliExpress, and you're going to have it shipped from China with e-package to the areas where you need it delivered. And your expectation there is that usually it'll get there between 2 weeks at the earliest and 3 weeks at the latest, or up to 4 weeks. But actually, 2 to 3 weeks on ePacket is realistic. Then you go for other phases in the drop shipping. But just comparing that simple drop shipping model where you sell, where you ship individual orders from China, and compare that with print on demand is going to be faster. So print on demand is as fast as usually around 10 days. If you have print on demand through T-Launch, for example, and the supplier for the print on demand is in the United States, and you're going to ship into the United States, then your turnaround time is going to be typically in about a week to 2 weeks, so around 10 days, right? So it's going to be faster. Let's see, let's not make too long on our answers here.
Yeah. Let's see, delivery time.
So designers, how do you find good designer for print on demand product? Upwork is a good source, definitely. Freelancers, any space where you can find freelance designers. Fiverr. Also, delivery time for T-Launch for POD. I just mentioned that.
You just answered that one. Poster Shop. This person has a poster shop. I'd like to see.
Oh, you're not familiar with Canvas Art? Canvas Art is, I would source that usually from China. So
how do you do that?
If you have poster shop, yeah, same place. I mean, Canvas Art, we'll put
some resources.
We'll put some resources for that, so we
Okay.
don't need to pull stuff out of our head right now.
Cool. So if the audience I target is teenage girls, sorry. Okay. POD model has very tight margin level. How do you deal with that? Somebody says.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that tight, really. It's only tight if you can't get enough engagement for what you're selling.
Right.
It's not that tight. When you have a good design that goes to a really engaging crowd, you're going to be able to get, Facebook ads, CPAs around $15 or so. And if you pay $15 there, and then you pay, like $9 for the shirt, so now you're at 24. Yeah, and that's very tight. You're right. I mean, it is tight. Custom Cat has T-shirts for $8. Yeah, it depends on the model, 10 to 12. Print on demand is really good in the winter time. You can go for the more expensive models. You can do sweaters and hoodies. Ugly Christmas designs are good for the winter. You can do that either on long sleeved. So for ugly sweaters, there are two ways to go. You can either go with long sleeve T-shirts and just print on the front, or you can go by all over print, and they are much heavier and much more value perceived. And you can actually sell those ugly sweaters that are all over print for like $40, $50, even up to $60. Cool. So
somebody said.
Yeah. So
should I
age group targeting? Should I not target age group 18 to 24 on Facebook ads, as you mentioned, that they do not have much buying power? It depends. So some 18 to 24-year-olds have buying power, but in general, you'll find that your sweet spot of buying audience usually gravitates to older, and even older than that.
Yeah, 30.
You're usually 35 to
55
to 60 is like really the buying audience. The problem with that is that a lot of times you can sidestep that by not following the crowd, right? So if you find a really engaging product, a really engaging offer, and that is specifically going to men 18 through 35, now you all of a sudden have different targeting from everybody else who goes for women between 35 and 60, and you're kind of in your own playground that way, in your own playing field.
Okay. How do you hide your design from the platform to reduce the copycats?
This is a really big issue with not only with platforms, but also with Shopify now, right? I mean, Shopify is becoming that same thing because it's such a popular platform. People have created apps to research and apps to spy on Shopify stores and Shopify products that sell well, and the designs are in the same vein. They're also following along in that. So let me turn this around for just 1 minute here, and I wanted to hear a little bit more about your results. Like what did you get out of your product research? Did you find anything out of the task that we put into your lab that you would consider like a working product, like a good idea, like an inspiration for a product that you already found? Because we want to, remember, we want to do build, scale, done. We want you to actually get done and not just think about and talk about. We want you to actually find something that we're going to be ready to slug into your Shopify store as a new product idea. So let's share some of these results that you have during the break. One other thing, I promised to send you a list of product suggestions, and I'm going to make good on that. I'm going to put that list up here shortly after the break, or towards the end of today. So, but I wanted to inspire you to do your own niche research and your own product research, and really find the products that are in your niche and that are going to be good and hopeful, and so that you can actually get something going with them.
Real quick for Bridget, we got from Mary, question for Bridget. When selling jewelry, what is your average price point? And do you find customers have any issues about the lack of quality packaging when using AliExpress? Congrats also on your huge success so far. Smile face.
Thank you, Mary. So that's an awesome question. I actually have a video that I created to how to find a right supplier and how to find a good photo. In there, I talk about to find the right supplier is not just about the supplier, it's not just the product, but please remember to also look at the reviews that other customers post, because sometimes they post the packaging, how the supplier packaged their products, and that's very, very important. Because if I want to sell something, let's say $30 to $40, I want to make sure the packaging doesn't look like it's $5. My price range, when we first started, we have the scarcity mindset, thinking that, oh, nobody wants to buy something so expensive. So we started around, what, like you say, 15 to 20 bucks for like woman's necklace. And people buy, and we did the buy one get two free deal. We did make sales, and it was the cost of good was very, very low. And when Oliver partnered with us, we found other products, and throughout the process, my mindset started to shift, because I see our Facebook comments saying that, oh, this necklace is only $20, or this necklace is only $30. We test different price points. And I realized people are actually very open to higher price point. Sometimes when the price point is too low, they actually question, how is the quality? Where is it coming from? So I will definitely spend a lot of time looking for the product packaging. The main thing that I look at is, again, refer to the video, but shortly I want to emphasize on this. Look at the product photos from the suppliers, find the ones that actually look attractive to you and that is promising. Then go look at customers' review, customers' photos. It's very, very, very important. Also look at the reviews on what other customers are saying. Is it fast delivery? Is this supplier responsive? All that is included in that video. But these are kind of how I process it, and hope that helps.
Yeah, so here's a question from Michael. Let's go into this. So if I want to set my audience to teenage girls, so the niche itself is the teenage girls, or the product I plan to sell. All right, well, so maybe we clear up some misunderstandings between demographics and niches, right? So teenage girls, that's a demographic, right? That describes an age range and a gender. So that's totally solely demographic aspects, criteria, okay? So that's not a niche. That's just an audience. That's a demographic. So if you want to turn this into a niche, you ask yourself, okay, what are they passionate about? Now, teenage girls personally, I think they are buying stuff, but they definitely, you know, they have a lot of viral power, and you'll see a lot of sharing going on with them, and you can definitely sell to them.
Yeah.
But you need to find out which niche they're actually, you know, engaged about.
Yeah, so kind of, yeah, this is actually perfect that you asked this, because one of our products was, we worked with this teenage girl who's a singer, so that's the niche, was singing music. She had a following, and she was into music, so we had this kind of like this little necklace that looks like a little microphone, and we just sent it to her, and she basically on Instagram posted, and we got a bunch of sales from that. You know, so that's a whole different version. You know, you can do Instagram with influencers, but the niche was music. The demographic was she was a 14, 15-year-old upcoming singer. So I hope that kind of clears up.
And this is just a little side note. What we noticed through our own experience is that if you want to target younger crowds, Instagram has, like, I realize Facebook is for older generation like all of us here, and Instagram is for people who are a lot younger, like teenage people. And I would definitely recommend to, you know, also explore Instagram as well.
Thomas, is it a wise idea to start with a general store initially, and further start niche stores based on the winning products niches in that store? How would you say?
Yes. Well, okay. So the question here is, you know, that is the old question: generic store or a niche store to start. And the answer is, again, kind of, it depends, right? I would suggest a hybrid out of that. I would not put a general store up that goes after everything. You know, I wouldn't put completely unrelated things together in a general store and kind of pretend like you're Amazon. I think that's a relatively difficult approach. What I would suggest you do is put together stores where you can group niches that fit together in the same similar demographic. So you might have a store that works for fishing and hiking and camping, right? That's a good combination. You might have a store that works for yoga and spirituality and what else fits into that? So kind of like, yeah. So clusters of niches that go kind of after the same demographic and that work well together. So someone who likes this is also quite likely to like that,
right?
And even if it's not the same overlapping person, right? Then it's still someone who likes this also knows someone in their close range of friends that likes that, and it's a demographic fit. It's always going to be much more difficult to satisfy a wide variety of demographics in the same store. And I'm afraid that if you're saying, I want to make a general store, that you're thinking in your mind, I'm just going to put anything in there. You know, kitchen gadgets, that's for middle-aged men and women. You know, some veteran stuff, that's for young guys and for some older people. Some gun enthusiast stuff over here, and then some cosmetics on here. And what you get is just really a hodgepodge. It's like walking into a really cheap store or just into a discount warehouse type of thing. And I would not do that, right? I would kind of keep things together that are a good fit. So for example, babies, we have babies and parenting, right? That's a good mix. So babies and young moms, that's a good mix of niches that are very related, that fit well into the same store, but you don't have to like hone in on just a very specific thing.
Right. So I think to add on to that is, the question to ask is, who's going to be shopping at your store, right? Who's buying the things? If you know, if it's like you said, the middle-aged mom or the young mom, then what are they looking for? You know, you go to like Home Goods or Marshalls or something like that, and you can see there's different sections. People are in different sections. I rarely go to the kitchen section or the beauty section. I'm rarely there, but she's always there, right? So think about who's gonna be in your store because you want to appeal to them.
Yes. So let's see what else is here. Is that a good enough answer for you,
Yeah,
Tara? So yeah, I'm actually gonna. There's an answer there from Burke. Hire programmer to hide best-selling. There's actually an app for that. I'm gonna send you a link. I'm gonna put a link on for that app into the members area.
Let's see.
So CPA. I wanted to make a general comment about the general stores type of thing and about all this kind of stuff, because a lot of times there are so many different models that can be successful for you, and it's really just a matter of making a decision of what would you want to do. What do you want to do as an entrepreneur? What are you going to be excited about? Are you going to be excited about drilling into a certain specific crowd that has a lifestyle, and with that lifestyle there are certain things that fit with that? Or do you want to hone in deeper into a specific product? We actually have a lot of people have nowadays stores that are extremely niched in that there might be just single product stores. You know, a store that is a single product that turns out to be like an awesome idea. But unless you do what you're doing right now, and that is wondering about niches, wondering about how do I get started, wondering about how e-commerce works, and you never get started, you never acquired the basics and the basic skill of knowing, yes, this is working, yes, e-commerce is a valid thing, yes, this is how the marketing part works, this is how I appeal to the people in the niche, this is how I sell this is how they're buying, this is how I'm fulfilling, all of that. Now you have this really good idea, you hit the jackpot, you find a product, and you go off with that. And this development could have never happened if you didn't go through this phase of like slight disorientation and what am I doing, where is my passion, and where am I going to move with this? So you never know where you're going to end up with. So therefore, anything that we respond to here, any of the answers that if they sound a little bit vague, that's because you want to just go for something and don't go too strange in the way that, you know, you're looking at, I need to find the perfect thing and I need to find the best way to do this, and you know, that's just it. So here's a good thing. Can you share your opinion about this product I researched? Okay. Let's bring this over here. So let's figure out what this is. Looks like a toy. No, hang on a second. Beauty clipper
fringe. Oh, so it helps you cut. Oh, you get the Asian bangs.
I would use a video on that.
Yeah, it could be a potentially good product, right? It's $1.31. It might. Yeah, if you have the right marketing for it, that image may or may not work.
So this is Jonathan's guts information, right? Without really digging into any kind of data. Yesterday he told me the way that they do product research is basically he shows it to Bridget, and Bridget says, yes, this is good.
That's my secret. It depends on how, right? Like here's if you guys have wives or girlfriends, your female friends, like show them your marketing, right? Your creative, if it's an image or a video, and watch their response. If you get oh, it's so cute, or if it's like, oh, I love that, or if it's just, oh, it's okay, you know.
So let's look at this. Let's see if we find anything here at all on Facebook, and maybe you can tell us what you found. Oh, there you go. So there are the people there that do the actual, you know, same.
See if there's photos or
same exact photo, public posts.
See if you can go.
Let's go for all.
I would just go to photos for this. Photos or videos? One
thing I would recommend looking at that now Facebook has a lot of same photos. If you could buy one of those products and take your own photo, so it's different. People think it's a different product, but really it's the same. Or create a video out of it. I think with these kind of, you show people how to use it, it's more powerful than just a photo. Yeah. So somebody asked about best way to develop an appealing creative. So you're gonna go over creative tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna go over creative tomorrow on how you can take something that's been sold millions of times, right? Everybody's seen it, but you can take it, make it your own video, your own image, and it becomes something brand new. Exactly. And you deliver it in a brand new way, right? So like think about it like this. I don't know if you guys have Netflix. So if you have Netflix, there's the same shows, right? But then they have different images on the same shows. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that looks like a cool show. Oh, that's a cool show. Oh, wait, I've already seen it. Okay. But it got me, right? Because it's a different image appeals to different people.
Is this a shared screen?
Yes, this is the shared screen. So this is the shared screen.
Yeah, I'm looking at the shared screen here with you to kind of.
Bridget, how do you deal? Oh, actually, you want to do this first?
This is a super cheap thing here. I don't know. It doesn't. There's no proof here in the product yet on Facebook. This could be a good sign, but it could also be a bad sign.
Right.
There's actually
Do we find anything in the photos in the photo section, or
no? There was basically only
videos?
This thing here.
Videos?
Just the actual video, the actual photo. I just wanted to look at this. So there's actually.
Oh, so you know you're like holding it straight.
There's what's it called?
That's pretty cool. Video will be really powerful for this one.
If you can prove that it works well, and you know you're not gonna mess your hair up, because I think women care a lot about their hair that they may
Do it on your kids.
They may not trust themselves.
So
yeah, maybe if you did a video of a mom doing it for her kids
Or
and
your
targeted
dog.
moms.
Or your little Yorkie.
Nobody made a video yet.
Yeah,
So.
do a video.
Yeah, it's.
And I would look at the reviews too from AliExpress to see what other people are saying.
How many orders? So it's got 1,700 orders.
So
a
there's
lot
a
of people.
potential.
So a lot of people buy it.
Yeah.
So I would look at the feedbacks. You know, I would go down and I'd look at the feedback down here. This is all in a video. We have this all in the video. So arrived in 50 days. Okay, that's a long time. Not yet tested, but arrived all okay. And then you can like click on these pictures to see the quality of it. That's the packaging, right? So. Right, people bought it. Okay, I don't know. Nobody's really saying waited 3 weeks. Okay, so Bridget, question for you while we kind of look at that. How do you deal with the packaging, right? When AliExpress suppliers do that, right? Especially like something like this, if it just comes in that little plastic thing.
One of the two things I would do, well, this is just my experience with the jewelry, is one jewelry, there may be multiple suppliers that sell the same thing. So I will compare each one, open each one of them and just see what each suppliers, how they ship their product, what is their packaging, because sometimes some of the suppliers, they actually ship in a little box, which makes the jewelry looks a lot more valuable, and that's a big plus. Or if there's really limited amount of suppliers for that particular package, what I would do is create a relationship with the supplier and say, hey, you know what, I really like your product, and I feel we have a high demand for this product, and we would like to have a long-term relationship with you. Is there any way that we can change the packaging? Because, you know, we want to create a great customer experience for this. So ask them. They're most likely going to be very open for it. Either they'll tell you, hey, no, there's no packaging. Then ask other suppliers, or like, sure, you know, what are you looking for? They ask them, what are the options? Do you have any options for me to choose from? Or give them your idea and see if you can work this out.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that goes into kind of private labeling. Like if you have a brand that you want to do, and you just sometimes just building a good relationship with the supplier. Say, hey, I got a brand. Can you just put my name on it? Or I can buy some boxes and you know, is it okay if I fulfill them or you fulfill them for me?
Yeah.
You know, if you have a good relationship with them.
We recently started doing that.
Yeah, and the cool thing is the perceived value goes up, right? So if you're selling at $20-$30, all of a sudden you add a box with a nice, you know, with your logo on it, it becomes $50, you know, and no complaints, because packaging is everything, right?
Okay, let's try to knock out a whole bunch of questions. No, that's all good. So Burke is saying, when you found winning product, did you order one for yourself to see the quality? I would definitely always recommend that. And one comment I want to make here, do not rely on videos from YouTube. Do not ever steal videos from YouTube and use them. Okay, it's always better to take your own video, and for that you need to have the product, right? The easiest videos to create are they don't need to be perfect, but you want to have the product. You want to show it in action. You can just take the video with your iPhone. That's going to be great. So when you research, look for how long ago the post was posted. Well, so how long is too long? Well, the point here is how long did it take to get a whole bunch of interaction, right? A lot of times you have very strong interaction, you know, millions of views, hundreds of thousands of likes. Then you want to look at two things. is this like a really old post? You know, was it like 6 months old, 3 months old? And how quickly did it get these this viral distribution, right? And so how old is too old? Well, it depends on how many interactions there are. You know, when you're looking at thousands of hits or likes, and the post is already 3-4 months old, that's not very impressive. But if the post was just launched a few days ago and it has thousands of hits already or likes, then that's impressive. So the newer the post, it's really good if it has, you know, kind of low numbers by comparison, but really high compared to how soon ago it was launched. And if you go further back, you have to kind of see, okay, is that still applicable? You know, the fact that that's hot may indicate more that this product is no longer really valid for Facebook marketing than, I mean, so this research has some frustrating aspects in that you may actually have to kiss a lot of frogs until you find one. And what I would encourage you to do there is really spend the time and disqualify a lot of things from the beginning, and only go with the things that really inspire you and meet the criteria of interaction, engagement, and having a niche that has, you know, some buying power, and translating the engagement that you find on some posts into actual sales.
Yeah, and you want to look at the post too. When was the most recent post posted? You know,
Comments, right?
The comments, right?
Comments.
That's something. And I know this. Sometimes you know, and it could be season 2. If it was really old, then it may have died out. But right now is Christmas shopping time. Certain products can be revived, you know. But that depends on your testing. You have to test it out and see.
Yeah, here's a comment. Babies could be a general store too.
Yep.
You could do, you know, all kinds of niches, product-specific niches. Yes, you could. But still, babies is kind of like not very general. Not general in the sense of we are also going to sell, you know, kitchen tools and stuff like that, and fitness products, or, you know, whatever.
Right.
Do you have any recommended designers for Pewdie you can share? Not really. But I mean, there are a dime a dozen. There are so many out there. And you can easily get a sample, get them to do, you know, a sample on, go to Fiverr, get some to do samples for you. Usually they're actually, you know, when they're doing samples for you, they're really good. Usually in the beginning, I found a lot of designers that were really good in testing them. And then going on, it's a little bit more difficult.
yeah, we have to. Okay, what is this? Different countries? Are you only selling in the U.S.?
Different countries. Definitely spreading out your sales areas beyond U.S. is going to be easier for you. You know, particularly when you're going with the drop shipping model. Drop shipping can handle as well as U.S. can handle well from China into several other countries. That are really good.
There are some countries that are a little bit harder though.
Yeah.
So it depends, but there's good countries.
We try to do our best to choose ePacket when it's available, but when it's not, do AliExpress standard shipping. However, know that when you do AliExpress standard shipping, there's no tracking number, because that method is only available and valid in AliExpress. So you just gotta keep
so the tracking numbers is actually really important to have, right? So I would stick with anything that's trackable, and therefore ePacket. So basically, just to name the countries, you know, it's obviously US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand.
Yep.
Then it's UK and Europe in general. I mean, Europe in general. With Europe, you can actually go for the EEA, the region, right? And target them that way and see which countries inside Europe might work better than others. And that's pretty much it, right? I mean, there's lots of sales to be made in Asia for sure.
Yeah, what's weird is our worldwide, I never get sales from the only countries in Asia I get are Philippines and Japan, and they don't.
Well, one problem with targeting larger regions or even worldwide is that a lot of times you have to spend quite a bit of budget in order to get any kind of significant reach into any of these countries. And so then what happens a lot of times is that you get exposure where you get tons of engagement in certain countries, and you spend money on that, and the engagement looks like, yeah, this is super cheap, right? But they're not buying anything. And the problem is the Facebook optimization then, if you're starting with a PPE post, and we're going to get into the details on that later, but the problem is that when you're optimizing for something and you're on a very low budget, on a very large audience, Facebook is just kind of, dipping a finger into the water here and there. And there's no real concept of what is actually working better for you. So you end up spending a lot of really cheap engagement stuff on a cheap country, and then you don't get anything in return for it. So let's go through here. The messages get faster more than we can catch up in answers here.
Any specific tools to perceive value?
Daniel has seen this product before, this clipper there, this hair clipper thing, so he doesn't like it. It's also, the surprising thing is a lot of times that when a product is well known, it actually comes around again. There's like yearly cycles for some products that you can actually launch again, even though they've been there for 2-3 years. I mean, this whole kitchen tool niche is a pretty good example for that. There's rarely anything that is brand new and a brand new concept. Perceived value is very low. That's true. Yeah. So Daniel is a naysayer on your clipper.
So Mark says, if you're ordering a product from multiple suppliers and you wait 3 to 4 weeks to get it, that's how much we can launch the campaign. No, you don't have to wait for that to launch the campaign. You can launch the campaign, order it, use whatever you can use at the moment, and then order. By the time it gets here, you can create a brand new campaign, and you'll be different from everybody else. So I would definitely.
Well, you can test, but you can also just order something for faster shipping. I mean, 3 to 4 weeks. Usually when you order a single item with a single AliExpress, you can get it like in 10 days. 2 weeks.
You get it in about 2 weeks.
And I would recommend that you wait and then, look at the product, make your video with it, make the video like really attractive and good, and then go for it. Now, one thing is to be said about outsourcing. A lot of times what we do is we actually have teams that are in countries where they're a little bit closer to the supplier, so they can actually also get these things faster. And then you get the items, you have the team do the videos, you have the team check them out, discard them, disqualify them. So you want to make a process there where you really are choosy and picky about what you launch and put in a lot of effort on the things that you do test, rather than spending a shallow test effort on products that you don't really believe in the first place. So if you're in Daniel's camp here and you say that I don't think this product is any good, then just move on, right? That's your product research, and that's your full right to do that. It doesn't mean that someone who has like a fringe idea, like a related idea on this product, can't make something work out of the inspiration for this one.
Would you suggest, Terrain asks, would you suggest, what did he?
Here's another one. This is like a kid's baby nail trimmer. That's definitely, that has really good potential. This is a good product. There's similar things like this are around. There are some.
I've seen this.
Yeah, I've seen similar items like this.
Yep.
Again, run these things through the criteria. Do the same things that we've done before.
Go to the Facebook.
Go to the Facebook. Go find
so
that.
Go through it, or if you
and go through these things right here. So there's some videos
on these. And then Terrain asked something about if you have different suppliers on, and we'll go over this more in the fulfillment. But if you have suppliers from different, like if you're upselling something and you have 2 suppliers, you can manually fulfill them from both different suppliers and ship to the same person. It's just going to come in different packages. We use Dropify, which is an app, and we'll talk more about that later today. That allows you to just do one-click orders, or you can even bundle them together, and it orders it automatically from those different suppliers. And yes, they, just like it comes from different Sorry. No problem. It comes from different. Oh, that's the next video. It comes from different suppliers, and they're gonna arrive in different packages, and that's okay. You let your customer know that you have multiple warehouses, and that they're gonna come in separate packaging. Most people don't. Most people don't care.
So
As long as you let them know.
Yeah, regarding the customer service part of it, I also create a video, also a macro sheet, which we'll be sharing with you guys later on. Basically, in our thank you email, we talked about this. We talk about the shipping time, as well as we have multiple fulfillment centers, so they kind of know. Most of the time, people don't read. So you can use the canned responses that we created regarding to this matter.
Yeah, and there's a whole video. We're going to go over AliExpress supplier criteria.
Yeah, we did that. And I think someone else was also asking what are the criteria about finding a supplier. We also talked about it in the product and suppliers research video. And everything is there. There's a process sheet and that you can download that have listed down everything. What's important, what to look for. So it's there for you.
Yeah.
So other questions here from Daniel. Bear in mind scaling, what CPA should we consider? Well, with CPA, if you get a really cool picture, I mean a really good, let me move this away again. There's all kinds of things popping up here all the time. Okay. CPA really depends. If you run a test and you get super engaged and you get super results with it, you may find that you can get some CPA for $4, $5, $6, $7, something like that, and it's going to be very profitable at the beginning. If you really hit a kind of a viral spur right in the beginning of your test, that's awesome. Typically, you can expect something that's more closer to breaking even, or maybe even losing some money initially to get your initial sales going. So typically what we're finding now is that you're not necessarily going to get your huge results right on the front end of your tests. You may, but you may not, and you can make some things work that don't look perfect at the very beginning, but you can also sometimes find things where you get really lucky on those. So I would consider anything that's close to breaking even an initial success.
Yeah.
The problem is, Daniel, if you tune out of too many things that are adversarial to your goals, then you're going to end up just not doing anything, right? Because there's just nothing that you can actually move forward with. You reject too many things that might actually get you closer to your experience. So I have this metaphor or comparison with running Facebook ads and doing e-commerce. It's very similar to learning how to do a little bit more complex skill, like play the violin, okay? So with learning how to play the violin, you can discern a lot of things that, okay, this is a progress, this is a step in the right direction. It's not perfect yet, but I know I've learned something in exercising this piece or this way and practicing this skill. And because of what I've learned, I can now discern and know what to do next and what to improve. And this learning process, this step-by-step approach, and this allowing yourself to start slow, to start small, to start and acknowledge some success that you have, that is really something that you need to adopt. Because if you don't do that, I'm afraid you're going to have too many mistakes happen in the beginning and too much rejection happens, and you're going to give up because of that, rather than taking the learning experience out of anything you do and take it and use it to improve on your previous results.
Totally agree with that. In the beginning, there's going to be a lot of bumps.
Yes. So Hassan, absolutely. I will be sharing pre-research hot products for you to test. There's yes, absolutely. 7.7 ROAS, that was awesome. Exactly how do you usually set the selling price to target your margin? The answer to that, the simple answer to that is you usually set your selling price too high to fathom. Like, I mean, you should be like, I could never believe that it would sell for that much, right? Now, that puts certain limits on what kind of products you may choose, right? So this hair clipper thing that's plastic with a little gadgetry on there, I doubt you can sell that for $30, right? But the nail trimmer, like the baby nail trimmer, that's, that might go for 30, 40 bucks in the environment here, even though you might find it on Amazon for cheaper than that. So typically don't set your mark on Amazon, because Amazon is always going to be cheaper than what you can sell it for on Shopify. And typically just start on the higher end so where your margin comes in, making it at least break even in the way that you start out. And again, starting out and making your exercises and playing notes that sound kind of strange is an important part of the process. You don't want to limit yourself to expecting only the things that work right out of the gate. And, if it doesn't work like that, then you're going to just quit.
Yeah.
All right. I think, luckily, we're caught up with the questions. It doesn't say 35 new questions anymore. And I've actually answered the last questions on the list. So we're going to close down this Q&A. We're going to just take a brief break. We're running about 40 minutes late now in the program, but that's fine. So we're going to just take a brief break and then shift our lunch break to later and delay all the following sessions by, accordingly. But we're going to be here and we're going to tell you when the sessions start. And we're going to make comments and posts on where the other links are. So what we're going to do is we're going to close right now, and we're going to come back in 15 minutes. It's 12:22 right now, so let's call that 12:40.
Do we have a timer?
No, 12:40. It's gonna 40 of the hour, so it's going to be in 18 minutes. Okay, 18 minutes. We're coming back. You're going to go into the next session. So we're actually going to go into the next session. Where is our session? I don't know where my members area is now.
18 minutes.
18 minutes. Yeah, I can't do math.
8 minutes. Bye.
I can't do math. I cannot do math while I'm talking. Math and talking at the same time. It's hard for me.
Math and talking.
Yeah, can you
Math
do
and anything.
that? Okay, so we're here, and you already have done this, and you see there are these nice progress. So we actually see in the back who has done what. We can see progress on you guys' stuff on a case-by-case basis. So we know you. We're going to watch you. We're going to watch you. Okay. So next time next step, we're going to come back in this webinar right here. It's set for 12 a.m. It's now going to start at 12:40 a.m. All right.
PM, huh?
PM, and it's PM. So it's all many
Math.
numbers, times. Okay, guys. I'm going to close the session now. We're going to be back in 18 minutes. See you then.